Every time you freestyle, you probably feel like you're competing against rappers who lived through experiences you could never match, leaving you convinced that your regular suburban upbringing or average struggles don't provide enough material for compelling bars. Yes, you probably watch others command attention with stories about their neighborhoods, their crews, their transformations, and their authentic experiences while you struggle to find anything from your own life worth sharing. See, the problem isn't that your life lacks interesting content, it's that you don't know how to identify and organize your personal experiences into freestyle-ready material that connects with any audience. But the secret lies in understanding which aspects of your personal history translate into universal themes that make listeners lean in rather than tune out. So, in today's episode of How to Rap, we break down how to freestyle your life story in 5 patterns. Now, before we dive into these patterns, if you're ready to transform from someone who freezes up at parties to the person everyone begs to freestyle, check out our proven system below called the Freestyle Fortnight, which is designed for you to master the art of freestyle rap in 2 weeks or less. You see, this comprehensive course gives you the exact drills and techniques to freestyle confidently about anything, including your own life story, in just 14 days. Grab it through the first link in the video description box below. With that out of the way, let's unlock the 5 patterns that'll have you freestyling your life story like a pro. Our first style you can use when going off the dome is the hometown heroes pattern. Every neighborhood has its legends, and yours are gold mines for freestyle material. The framework is simple. Where we from, everybody knows, then mention your local city or a spot in your town. This pattern works because it instantly creates connection with anyone who shares your geographical roots or similar experiences. You start by identifying those unforgettable characters who shaped your community. Maybe it's the corner store owner who gave kids free candy when their parents couldn't afford it. Perhaps it's that one teacher who seemed to have taught literally everyone in your town. Could be the old head at the basketball court who schooled 3 generations of players. These figures become your entry points into deeper storytelling. Jay-Z mastered this pattern in Where I'm From, painting vivid portraits of Brooklyn characters that made listeners feel like they knew his block personally. The power lies in specificity combined with universal themes. When you rap about Big Mike from the corner store, you're really talking about community, trust, and the unwritten rules of neighborhood economics. Your listeners connect because they had their own Big Mike, their own version of that same archetype. Practice this by listing 5 local legends from your area right now. Think about what made them memorable beyond just their names. Was it how they talked, what they wore, their daily routines, or the wisdom they dropped? These details transform generic references into cinematic moments. The key is balancing insider knowledge with accessible storytelling. You want people from your neighborhood to nod knowingly while outsiders still understand the essence of what you're describing. This pattern establishes your authenticity immediately because nobody can fake these hyper-local references. When you nail this pattern, you create an instant credibility that money can't buy. But these local legends shaped who you became, which brings us to your personal transformation story. The next topic you can use in your freestyles is the underdog comeback narrative. This story structure hits harder than any punchline because everyone relates to struggle and transformation. Your framework follows this arc. I used to struggle, then some kind of turning point, now I then describe your current successful status. This pattern taps into the universal human experience of overcoming obstacles, and Biggie's Juicy remains the blueprint for this narrative structure, taking listeners from reading magazines to living the dream. The magic happens when you make your struggle specific rather than generic. Instead of saying, I was broke, you describe eating cereal with water because milk was too expensive. Rather than nobody believed in me, you recall the exact words your guidance counselor used when they said you'd never amount to anything. The turning point needs equal specificity to resonate authentically. Maybe it was the day you wrote your first complete 16 bars and felt something shift inside. Perhaps someone unexpected showed faith in your talent when everyone else had written you off. Could be that moment you decided to invest your last $50 in studio time instead of necessities. And by the way, your current status doesn't need to be superstar level to work effectively. You see, even small victories count when contrasted against where you started. Going from open mic nights to paid local shows represents real progress worth celebrating, and the emotional journey matters more than the material outcome. This pattern works particularly well in ciphers because it shows vulnerability while maintaining strength. You're acknowledging past struggles without wallowing, demonstrating growth without arrogance. Practice by identifying 3 specific struggles from your past and their corresponding victories. Remember that authenticity beats exaggeration every time in this pattern. Your real story, told honestly, connects deeper than any fabricated struggle narrative ever could. But what really makes your freestyle memorable is revealing the parts of yourself that nobody expects to hear. Another powerful style for your freestyles is the real talk flip pattern. This approach creates powerful moments by revealing what lurks beneath your public persona. Your framework starts with, "They don't know I," then add a surprising personal fact, struggle, or dream. This pattern transforms ciphers from competitive showcases into intimate confessions. Young Thug and Trey the Truth explored this disconnect between perception and reality in Don't Know Me from 2020. The effectiveness comes from choosing revelations that humanize without undermining your credibility. Maybe they don't know you still sleep with that teddy bear your grandmother gave you before she passed. Perhaps they're unaware you write poetry nobody will ever see because it's too personal to share. Could be that you volunteer at the shelter every Sunday but never mention it on social media. These admissions create layers to your character that pure braggadocio can't achieve. The key is selecting vulnerabilities that add depth rather than weakness to your image. Admitting you check your ex's Instagram shows emotional honesty without destroying your player reputation. Revealing you're scared of failing your mother demonstrates motivation beyond material success. This pattern excels in casual settings where authenticity trumps technical prowess. Your homies respect real talk more than perfectly executed multi-syllabic rhyme schemes. The audience connects because everyone harbors secret struggles and private dreams. Practice this by listing 5 things about yourself that would surprise people who think they know you. Focus on contradictions between your image and reality that reveal complexity rather than dishonesty. The goal isn't confession for shock value, but strategic vulnerability that deepens your narrative. When executed properly, this pattern transforms you from performer to person in your audience's eyes. Now let's zoom out from personal revelations to the broader culture that shaped your entire worldview. The 4th pattern you should master for your freestyles is neighborhood tales. This approach transforms your local experiences into universal truths about community and culture. Your framework builds from "Where I'm from, we," then describe a unique local experience or tradition. This differs from hometown heroes by focusing on collective experiences rather than individual characters. Tupac's Old School exemplified this pattern by weaving shared cultural memories into personal narrative. The power comes from selecting experiences that feel specific yet resonate broadly. Maybe where you're from, everyone gathered at the park on Sunday for pickup games that determine neighborhood rankings. Perhaps your block had unwritten rules about which corners belonged to which crews and why. Could be that certain sounds like the ice cream truck or police sirens triggered specific community responses. These shared experiences create instant nostalgia and connection with your audience. The trick is painting these scenes with enough detail to transport listeners without losing them in hyper-local references. You describe the feeling of waiting for that one street light to flicker on, signaling everyone to head home. You capture the taste of corner store freeze cups mixed with too much syrup on 100-degree days. The best neighborhood tales balance grit with warmth, showing both struggles and solidarity. Your community's unique responses to universal challenges become your storytelling goldmine. Practice by identifying 3 traditions or experiences unique to where you grew up. Think about what outsiders found strange when they visited your neighborhood for the first time. Those differences often highlight what made your community special and resilient. Remember that every neighborhood has its own culture worth documenting through your bars. When you master this pattern, you become your community's historian and voice simultaneously. Speaking of community, the most powerful freestyles happen when you bring your current crew into the narrative. Our final pattern for killing any freestyle session is the Crew Chronicles approach. This technique turns shared memories into cipher gold by mining your group's collective history. Your framework launches with "Remember when we," and then share an experience with these exact people in freestyle form. J. Cole's "No Role Models" showed how personal memories with your circle become universal themes about loyalty and growth. The immediate power comes from making everyone present feel included in your narrative. You're not just rapping at them, but creating moments about experiences you live together. Maybe you recall when your boy tried approaching that girl at the mall and completely forgot how to speak English. Perhaps you reference that time everyone pooled money for gas to drive 3 hours for a terrible show. Could be the night you all got stranded and turned disaster into the best adventure of your lives. These stories work because they celebrate the bonds that matter more than any individual achievement. The key is choosing memories that highlight your crew's character without exposing anything too private. You want stories that make everyone laugh or feel nostalgic, not ones that create awkward tension. Inside jokes become powerful when you provide just enough context for outsiders to understand. The balance lies between inclusive storytelling and maintaining that intimate crew feeling. Practice by listing 5 memorable moments with your current circle of friends. Focus on stories that showcase loyalty, humor, growth, or shared struggle. The best Crew Chronicles make listeners wish they were part of your squad. This pattern especially shines at house parties or casual sessions where your actual crew is present. When you nail this pattern, you transform random freestyles into memory-making moments. Master all 5 patterns and you'll never run out of material, no matter where you're freestyling or who's listening. With that all said, hopefully you got something out of this which will help you with going off the dome. And if you want more personalized coaching, be sure to visit the video description box below. Thanks for joining us for another episode of How to Rap, and peace.